4 on the Channel 1 color. I was trying to actually prepare you for what you're about to enjoy, because hey, this song, my favorite on the album. Let's enjoy Black Sheriff with Sacrifice off his second album, I Am Born.
Number 4.
Everything could have been lovely, but I'm just another.
Across the country, around the globe, we are on citynewsroom.com.
Talking about affiliates, if you are in the Upper West region, you can hear us live on Tumpani Radio 88.5 FM, as well as Jirakba 96.1 FM. In the Upper East region, we are live on Recast 92.1 FM in Bongo. In the Northern region, we are live on North Star Radio 92.1 FM in Tamale. In the Northeast region, we are live on Nobia FM 98.1 in Narugu. In the Western region, hear us live on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, all in Takrady. In the Ashanti region, we are live on Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM, all in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are live on Sela Radio 97.1 FM in Dabala and Holy FM 98.5 FM in Aflao. In the Savannah region, you can hear us on Kasha 99.5 FM in Damago. Now, as you're aware, the nation is mourning, a nation in grief, a nation in pain. President John Dramani Mahama yesterday addressed the nation, and in the nation address, he said that the government has instituted an investigative body to investigate the cause of the tragedy that hit the country. Sure, now you're aware that some 8 Ghanaians died the line of duty. After this announcement, the Bureau of Public Safety issued a statement saying that the investigation should go on, but then they have called on President John Dramani Mahama to immediately reconstitute the investigative panel tasked with probing the crash that claimed the lives of some 8 individuals, including 2 cabinet ministers. In a statement issued, the Bureau of Public Safety expressed concern over the president's decision to have the Ghana Armed Forces lead the inquiry, warning that such an approach risks undermine transparency, independence, and public confidence. The Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, Nanaya Akwada, joins us on the telephone line to speak to us about this particular statement they issued today. Nana, good evening. Thank you very much for your time. Hello, Nana, can you hear me? Good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, and thank you for good evening.
First of all, how did you receive the news from your side, the Bureau of Public Safety? How did you receive this news?
Follow me, the families of the bereaved and the Dr. Manu Buama and of mine, and Mutala Mohammed also had this thing sometime last year, was part of his vibe, happened to do a few in his and so our as an individual, the Bureau of Public Safety, we were also sad, but not too. If you safety professional, some events, sad to say, there's no secret that patient safety in our country is a lot of attention, and the people we have not done much. But days ago was it was very devastating on the nation as God and guidance for the people.
You have issued a statement asking President John Dramani Mahama to immediately reconstitute the investigative panel tasked to probe this particular incident. Why do you want the president to reconstitute the inquiry?
Yes, and rightly so. You agree with me that 2 days ago when we issued our first press release, we indicated that the investigation must be one and it must be true. And so last night, address when he that the military was going to lead him, we were a bit and disappointed. professionalism of the Ghana. We acknowledge their sacrifice and said, but in line international best practice, it is only fair that then sets up an in committee undertake this investment. First of all, as the operator of the aircraft, interested party, outcome of this investigation. Now, operate for the Ghana and investigate itself. Secondly, our security activities are normally very strict. Now, that's the need. See that what we call timely public update in a matter that has captured an international attention. Military is to lead nation. We to get the evidence and see that we want to have. Number 3, in terms of practice, under ICAO, that's the International Civil Aviation and Estating, which provides an investigation of air crash incident. Accident investigations acted by independent investigation team or separate from the operating regulatory body. In our military, advanced is the tenets and details practices. In our press statement, we did sign the US, Australia, and look, in jurisdictions where we've had military things, those investigations found or to critical findings times delay public discussion. Eventually, the public trust is. So it is only that the president call and with immediate reconstitute the and respectfully, we made it. I can go now.
But the argument has been that the helicopter we are talking about belongs to the military, and so it is their property. So it is just proper that they investigate what has happened to their own property. Why should we bring independent people to come and investigate something which doesn't belong to them?
That's a moot point, and I cannot. Anybody who is in space will understand when one aircraft falls from the sky part of this country, it is a group. Yes, it is for forces, but those aircrafts, jurisdictions operating practice, which is why we have a Civil Aviation Organization for aircraft investment. These things happen for the manufacturer of the fight, and once this news, it is also circulated so that everybody is looking for what's going to do. Get to the bottom of this credibly so that the all is only the investigation and not the investigation. practice. You cannot investigate yourself and fall on your own dagger, right? I mean, you can't do that, right? So it must take an independent body. And we have proposed that the president must appoint an independent chairperson who has no operational or command ties to the Ghana Armed Forces. Invite civil aviation safety experts. We have a lot of them in Ghana, both local and international, onto this team. We can draw observers from Parliament's Defense and Interior Committee onto the team. We can have representatives on independent safety advocacy bodies also being on the team. And lastly, technical advisors from the KO or other regional accident investigation bodies. This will ensure that the accident investigation team so constituted is diverse and an independent structure that will not only meet international benchmark but will also preserve the credibility of the investigation. Even before the investigation begins, check on social media and see the kinds of conspiracy theories, the kinds of attributions that are being made there. We cannot move forward with the Ghana Armed Forces investigating itself. It is inappropriate, especially when it involves so many high-profile government officials, especially when it could have been the president himself could have been at the center of this incident. It is appropriate that the accident investigation body so constituted be an independent one. And that's why we are calling on the president to immediately review his position on this and reconstitute the team.
How soon do you want this reconstitution to be done, and how soon do you expect these investigations to also be carried out?
Look, as I speak to you, investigations has begun. So the committee should have been constituted yesterday. We, since 2012, have called for an independent air accident investigation body. Since 2012, we have been calling for this to no avail. And so we may want to use this as an opportunity to set something up so that in future we don't have to wait 48 hours before we announce the constitution of a team, which is inappropriate, that we will have to reconstitute again. As I speak to you, investigations must have begun. And if it has not begun, it's even making our case worse. But I trust that once we found black boxes, once we are picking the wreckage, we have secured the wreckage site, it's all part of the investigation process.
How long do you think these investigations should be carried out? I mean, the time frame, the period.
Well, the global standards, there are no definite timelines, but we know that at least within the first 30 days, there must be a preliminary report to the public, so we know. And I want to urge the team that is starting to do the investigation now, or the new one that is going to be reconstituted, to immediately put out some basic information that the public needs. For instance, we want to know the full names of the crew that we know already. We want to know their flight hours, because it's out there already that some of them, I'm sorry my voice is shaking because I'm in a very close environment right now. Some of them do not have experience at all. Some of them say that the helicopter ran into a tree. We need some of those. Let's have the names of the crew members. Let's see the number of flight time they all have under their badges or under their sleeve. Then, as and when the information comes in, we can put in the information out so that we can kill ugly conspiracy theories and conjectures and suggestions that will, if not dealt with as soon as possible, can undermine the credibility and the authenticity of the report that will eventually come out. But in the absence of all of these, within the next 30 days, the investigative body, must put out a preliminary report, and that's what they were required of by the International Civil Aviation Organization standards for accident investigation.
Nanayao, thank you very much for your time. Dr. Nanayao Akwada is the Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. You can still send your WhatsApp messages. The number is 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. We go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories for you.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the Citi mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a lower teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649. Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, with the one for you.
When I get home and want something quick to chop, everything there inside, groundnuts, milk and sugar. I only need some water, so kiss good easy, oh. Keep carry make you for your happy, boarding house. Everything there inside, groundnuts, milk and sugar. I only
Kivo 4-in-1 Gary Mix. Soakings are easy. This outfit is FDA approved.
Oh, me, I be truck driver. Have they road top before most people go come up for them a house? For me, energy be purpose.
I'm a working mom. I drop my kids at school and head straight to the office. The car, the fuel, it keeps our day in motion. For me, energy is support.
At Misa Energy, formerly Engine Ghana, we keep Ghana moving no matter wherever you're headed to. For us, energy is progress, energy is possibility, energy is innovation. Misa Energy, fueling your dreams, putting you first. Visit your nearest Misa station today.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Let's read some of your WhatsApp messages. Akapo in Hafomim says, the untimely demise of our gallant patriots has truly brought some sort of sanity and unity in our political discourse. May this unity never fade. Nikwe from Accra says, the investigation should be taken seriously. Also, those using death to do dirty politics should stop. It's inhumane to do such. We are sad as a nation. May their souls rest in perfect peace. We the people from Ayariava says, indeed, this is a national disaster, and whoever tries to score shameful political points over this will be retired by the good people of this country. Christian from Kpong says, indeed, Ghana has lost heroes, a Black Wednesday that we can never forget so easily. It's just like a day I lost my gallant brother. My sincere condolences to their families, the presidency, and the entire nation. May their gentle souls rest in perfect peace. Kofi in Adenta Commando Research says, it is a very sad time for Ghana to record the death of 8 instrumental individuals on their way to national duty. Gusty Man Brekum says, in fact, we are not in good times. We need every proper investigations without any bias. Dr. Baume has really done well by signing the book of condolence for the lost ones. This humanity, let it unite Ghana and every Ghanaian in it. In most countries, the investigations of military aircraft accidents is conducted by the military itself rather than by the Civil Aviation Authority. This is because military aircraft often operate under different rules, regulations, and circumstances than civilian aircraft. Also listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll still have some more interviews to do in respect of this particular issue, and later we'll bring you some interviews, people we spoke to in respect of persons who have paid their respects to these fallen heroes of ours. Let's go to the phone line and speak to Dr. Petpo Wepaba. He is the president of the Ghana Academy of Forensic Sciences. They have issued a statement not happy with how we've handled this whole issue as far as the transportation and the recovery of the bodies are concerned. Let's speak to Doc to get their concerns about this issue. Doc, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, and thanks for having me. Good evening to our listeners.
In your statement, you say, and I quote, however, we observe with concern footage of how the scene was managed, the recovery of the bodies, and their subsequent transportation. What is the issue about the transportation and the recoveries of the bodies?
Thank you very much. I think to start with, there are protocols to handle situations of this nature. Interpol has some guidelines for managing disaster scenes, and I would recommend the agencies involved or the institutions involved in, collecting these dead bodies at the scene, transporting them, and all of that would have followed these international guidelines. To start with, the locals who actually got to the scene, right, took footages, shared them online. The media, some also took some, videos shared online because they wanted to get followers. They wanted to be the first to have, reported the incident and all of that. And we thought that wasn't something that was in good taste. Yes, you have to give respect to the dead, in as much as they are dead. It doesn't mean you can treat them, anyhow. And if you go to a crime scene of this nature, it's a crime scene actually. The crash site is a crime scene and a mourning environment. So you need to accord it, that level of respect and be able to treat the bodies and then the evidence that will be recovered and all of that. But we saw that the local, some people went there and even took parts of the wreckage. They took pieces of it and sent home as memorabilia that they thought they could show to their children, grandchildren and all of that, just to prove a point that when this incident happened, I was there and all of that. And it may interest you to know that sometimes the flight, recorder, the cockpit recorder, which is popularly known as the black box, may not have all the answers. It may even happen that it is just the piece that has been taken away, that is the answers that are needed to be able to reconstruct this whole event and understand the antecedents before the crash, and then be able to, make informed decisions as to how to be able to prevent that. So to start with, the management of the scene wasn't done in accordance with international best practices because they needed to have cordoned the place. It is understandable that where the incident took place was far from the villages. It was in the hinterland. For that matter, you expected people to have done what they did. But it comes back to the question, the one of the points in our statement, that we need to have a national forensic strategy or policy. Because if we do have something like that, you and I would know what we're supposed to do and not to do when we encounter situations like this. Otherwise, it is something that people continue to do without knowing the repercussions, thinking they just going in there to help. But in the end, they are rather causing more harm than good. Now, again, talking about the bodies that were transported, they are humans, for heaven's sake. For that matter, including ministers and all of that, for you to put them in sacks and transport them is not it doesn't add up. International best practices, or even within our country, when situations of this nature occur, we have what we call body bags. All right, body bags have zips. They don't leak. So you put the bodies in, zip them, and there's that dignity that is given to, the dead bodies for them to be transported safely to the temporary mortuary site, and then for onward transmission to the main mortuary. That wasn't done. Again, those who are transporting the bodies to the to the mortuary, these are dead bodies. They have been burned beyond recognition. Body fluids are oozing and all of that, and you put them in the sacks, and people are carrying them. What if they are pathogenic organisms that would get to these individuals who are carrying it? So it has some degree of public health hazard associated with it as well. So these are some of the things that we observe and thought, things weren't done properly, or international best practices were not adhered to. But coming back to what I said earlier, we believe it is lack of local capacity building, because if we have built our capacity locally properly, NADMO, fire service and all of that, they would know what to do when these situations occur. They wouldn't go to a scene of this nature without having dead bodies, because they would have had prior information of what has happened. So when they go in there, they will go with body bags and the necessary tools to be able to make sure there's that dignity associated with whatever exercise they carry out there. But unfortunately, this wasn't done.
Dr. Others who have said, or have made the argument that indeed this is the first time such a thing is happening, and especially for the villagers in that particular part of the country. And so going onto the scene, it was an emergency. It was they were not prepared. It just came on the spot, and so they needed to just put something together to ensure that they're able to transport this and carry these individuals in the sacks. And so they may be pardoned for the want of a better word, for ignorance sake.
Right. But then let me add that this isn't the first time there's been this helicopter crash by the Ghana Armed Forces. One happened in Atiwa in 2002. All right, and it was managed. But then I used to work with the hospital back in the Eastern region, and I was supposed to have even been on that chopper, but for some reason I missed it. Because now the person lost his life. So it isn't the first time this is happening. But my point is that we shouldn't keep repeating, what we think are antiquated measures of doing things. The world is changed. We need to learn. Most of us within the Ghana Academy of Forensic Sciences schooled outside. Most of the others who didn't even school outside are here. They know what to do, what not to do, and all of that. And you have a whole institution, that is being called to go respond to a situation like this, that would go in without body bags. That is my problem. If it is for the villagers, it is far away, it is remote. All right, so they would have done most of the things with the intention that they actually try to be of help to, the situation. But in the end, they rather muddy the waters. All right, so it is true that they can be pardoned. The fact that we're pardoning them is because of the fact that we don't have a national policy that would stipulate what we have to do in situations like this, and for that matter, we didn't follow that, because it isn't only this thing. If I will bring your mind to something that happens every day within our communities. If there's a crime scene right now, even at Citi FM, all right, people, instead of trying to perhaps move away from the scene and allowing the police or the investigative bodies to come do what they need to do, they rather go in there, contaminate the scene before the security agencies will get there. So it is a conversation that we need to have. There are people who have had their houses burgled, and they tend to contaminate the scene before they call the security forces, and by the time they come, they wouldn't get anything that would be of interest for insecurity to be able to help resolve the situation. So it isn't just peculiar to this case, but it is a general thing that nationally we need to have a conversation about as a nation, to be able to help develop our forensics to understand that situations like this will be handled properly.
the handling of the situation in the villagers going into the scene to pick up some of the items, does it compromise investigations into this whole thing?
It does. Yes, like I said, the black box, as it is called in quotes, may not have all the answers. All right, it will provide some information, and the investigation is normally in phases. It starts right from Accra or Bamakan before the flight took off. You know, all the checks that were done, the flight itself, the happenings and all of that until the crash. All right, it could be an accident, it could be something else, it could be that even the pilot was not well, you know, aboard and something else happened. All of these things, you need every piece of the wreckage or every piece of information to be able to piece together and be able to understand what did happen before. For instance, scientists, that's our job. You know, we are able to do what we call crime scene reconstruction. Even though we are not there, we can use the pieces that we recover to be able to tell a story of what actually happened, you know, before an incident, you know, occurred. So if you take a piece away, it's like a puzzle, and I try to put it together and I don't have that, the story will be incomplete. So it is something that is not good, because if taking it away, it is going to compromise some of the information that will be needed to be able to help resolve the the case.
Well, the information we have is that this afternoon, when the investigative team went into the village, they made an announcement for every person who's gone to the scene to pick up some things to bring it back to aid with investigation, some piece of information there. But then another issue also raised is about the national forensic policy, which you talk about. Yeah. What is this policy directed at? What do you expect this policy to do if indeed it is implemented or passed?
Right, thank you. You know, I did allude to a point earlier that it is because people do not know what to do. That is why they move into crime scenes just with the hope of trying to help the situation, and in the end, rather causing more harm. So this policy is going to be a policy that would streamline, the practice of forensic science in Ghana, and also help, government to be able to either establish a national forensic agency, a national forensic authority, or even the current one, revamp it, have capacity building that can serve, the purpose that is needed. As we speak to you, I hope you are aware that samples have been sent to South Africa for, analysis. Whilst we have the human resource in Ghana, we are more than capable to be able to do this. All that is lacking is the technical bit. We don't have the tools that are needed to be able to do it. But for the human resource, we do have. We have PhD holders, we have master's holders, we have DSc, a lot of people trained in contemporary forensic techniques that we can actually employ to help resolve some of these things. But if you don't have the infrastructure, it means that in the end, you're not going to be able to put into good use the training that you receive at the university, whether home or abroad. So it is only incumbent on government to try and put the appropriate structures in place so that when situations like this happen, we would be able to actually put our knowledge to practice and be able to resolve the the challenges that confront us, rather than sending samples abroad for analysis, and all of that. And it isn't only for disaster scenes like this. I guess you are aware that drink spiking is on the rise in Ghana. All right, and drink spiking, when somebody spikes your drink and you take it, it gives you what we call amnesia. You just forget, the happenings before the incident. So whatever happened before you took the drink, you wouldn't remember. So you are taken to a hospital, they take your sample, they treat you, you are well, but in the end, you cannot get justice because there is no way they can analyze the evidence that is being taken forensically to determine the amount that is in use, so this can stand the test of time in court to get a conviction. All right, so it means that if your drink is spiked in Ghana, you are only left, to God. There's not much that can be done, to help in terms of your legal, challenges and all of that. Medically, you can be sorted out, but when it comes to the legality, that will be a problem. When you come to fire outbreaks, we have fire outbreaks every year in This market you have fire break, the following year you have here, this month you have all of that. The fire service will go there, they collect debris from the seat of the fire. That is where the fire actually started. They have all of these debris, and you cannot analyze them forensically to be able to determine the components, that are in those debris. Meanwhile, we have the capability, we have the people who can actually do it, but for the lack of the infrastructure. So if you have a national forensic policy, it will help be able to fine-tune all of this and tie the knot so that every aspect of forensic science, whether it is voice analysis, whether it is trace evidence like hair, fiber, blood spatter analysis, where you can tell whether the assailant, is a right-handed, left-handed, where they were standing, the type of weapons. In fact, a lot can be said about all of these things. But we don't have a policy, so in the end, all of these things are just left away. So we want to put everything under one umbrella so we can fine-tune it and have a policy that can help advance forensics in Ghana, comparable to any part of the world, where it will be a hub for the sub-region to send samples to us for us to analyze, rather than us sending samples across to South Africa and Europe for analysis.
Doc, I'll say a big thank you for your time. Dr. Pet Paul Wepeba, who is the president of the Ghana Academy of Forensic Sciences. Thank you very much for your time. For one doctor, let's go to another doctor, and I'm talking about Dr. Ken Ashibe. He's the convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. They've issued a statement on what happened on Wednesday, Black Wednesday, and they say that this particular incident soon ginger us on and charge us up to fight on as far as the campaign against illegal mining or galamsey is concerned. For them, we should change the name for illegal mining or irresponsible mining to environmental crime carried out by environmental criminals, as stated in their statement. Doc, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you very much. I'm not too sure about anything being good.
I know. I've seen a video of you at that particular event where it was supposed to. How did you receive the news?
It was a bad one, because so we were expecting, because some of us, myself, the Honorable Minister for Lands, we had gone the night before because there was a meeting with the Anglo Gold Ashanti mine that we did before. And so we're expecting the other ministers to join for the event to start at 9 o'clock. And so there was a delay in their coming in, and so we had gone to sit at the event. And, to tell you, at least the first time I'm saying this, I was seated next to the MD of Anglo Gold Ashanti. So because of the fact that on Wednesdays, Anglo Gold Ashanti also has a bullion chopper that comes in. So when there was a bit of commotion that had happened between when I'm sure the ministers had got an inkling, so when the villagers had seen the chopper go down, they then had sent the earlier videos and pictures of the crash. When they got there, they sent them to the security team of Anglo Gold Ashanti. That was sent to the minister and to the MD, and I got to see it. And so it was so difficult sitting there and trying to hold yourself together, knowing all the things that you know. And this was before I went to speak, So it was a difficult one. And, for the Minister for Lands and the Ashanti Regional Minister to have held their own, to be being able to run through all of that, it was really a difficult one. And for me, I've moved from the pain, the shock, the state of denial into anger. I'm extremely angry. I am really angry at myself. I'm angry at all of us as a country, that this is a group of people that had left their families, to come and deal with an issue that is confronting all of us, killing all of us. And we sit, and we have normalized it. We are sitting in this country, the state of emergency that should be declared has not been declared. We are still, as we speak, There are some Chinese that were arrested. They've still been taken to immigration to be deported. We have these criminals, environmental criminals, parading themselves. The politicians who are still, part of all of this. The blood of the 8 are on the heads of every politician, every politically exposed person, every kingpin who is behind all of this. The blood of this 8 and all the people who have died out of galamsey are on their heads. And for me, as a country, it would be a shame if we don't use it as a point of inflection to say enough is enough, and we need to deal with this scourge that is eating all of us up. It's difficult. It's very difficult.
I know, because we've had this conversation over and over again, and it doesn't seem.
You would have thought that if anybody had listened to us, when the whole of Ghana rallied, when Citi FM dedicated a whole day, looking at all of this, if anybody had just listened and have done what we ought to have done, this would not be happening. It's such a crying shame, for all of us. It's tough. It's for us as a country, this is not how we should be living our lives. This is not how we should be governing ourselves and letting people lose their lives at their primes like this. It's not right. And I'm just hoping that all of this thing that we do, something should change out of this. It should not be business as usual. That's not it. We cannot continue again like this. It cannot be.
Doc, do you think it's about time that we declare a full state of emergency, or we get the soldiers to go all out just to ensure that we end this practice?
I think that we've gone beyond that time. You see, the president himself said that galamsey has become a national emergency. And so I don't know, Mr. President. I don't know what is stopping you, from because when, as Dr. Tomedu said, we need to ensure that, as we're doing all of these things that we're calling responsible cooperative mining, blue water guards and all of that, the people are out there still causing the damage, still causing the destruction. So we definitely need, I can't tell you, so what we need to do is that we need to bring a halt to this. It's a reason why for us and the media coalition, we believe that this is the time to stop. The coalition is just divided about whether we should change our name, from the media coalition against galamsey to the media coalition against environmental crime. So that's why we are asking all of us to do that. Let's call this what it is. It is crime being committed. I think it's either the minister or the IGP call it terrorism. We have said that we are at war. So we need to declare state of emergency targeted. We don't need to do it in places where there's none of this thing happening, but targeted. The times where we have galamsey happening, by the sides of the road, the forest reserves that these criminals are still in, the water bodies that they are in, these criminals who we can say, if you look at follow the money, the people importing all these excavators into town, the people who are importing cyanide into our country, bringing mercury, bringing people from Burkina to come into these places, we can trace them and we need to deal with them. It is the reason why all of those people, we need to be asking, what has happened to, the investigation on the NDC, two executives? What has happened to the issues around Akota mining? Why have we not seen that case in court? What is happening to the Professor Frimpong thing? There's too much talk and there's very little action taking place. That is why we will lose 8 people in a matter of minutes. All of them will go down because they're going to do this. So we've gotten to the point where we need to stare ourselves in the face. And I think that the call that you just made, we need to call on all citizens of this country. We all need to rally together, mass action, support of this thing to say this has to stop. And I am praying. His Excellency the President, they've taken 2 of your ministers. They've taken, stalwarts of your party, the Air Force. They've taken people out of their prime. This cannot continue like this. It cannot continue like this. We had Major Muhammad go away, and we allowed it to pass. Several people have died. We cannot allow this to happen. This crisis, if we are people that are, we really want to develop, then we have to ensure that this crisis does not pass us by. Otherwise, all of us will be mentioned. So something has to change. And so I'm calling on civil society. I am calling on the churches. I am calling on, the traditional leaders, the religious leaders, who are really also have this country at heart. As we continue to mourn, we should galvanize our tears. We should galvanize our pain into saying that never will this happen. I can tell you for a fact that if there's only one, if I was supposed to mention one politician that abhorred galamsey, to the extreme, the Minister of Defense will definitely be one of them. And so in moving to this particular thing, I'm sure it was all of that passion that was in him to say, let's go fix it. Then we allow this thing to fix him, and we won't fix it. What kind of people would we be? What kind of people would we be? So at this time, I am appealing to the emotion of all of us Ghanaians. I am appealing to all of us that we should not just weep for this AIDS and just let it pass. We should channel that into some positive action. This should be a point of inflection, that when they look at it, it should be a point of inflection. And say, those people who we've been treating as kid gloves, we should not allow those 9 Chinese people who have been arrested yesterday to be deported. We should make sure that they pay, fully the fine that is stipulated under Act 995, and the full sentence that should be applied to those 2 women and 7 Chinese men who have been arrested. We need to send a signal out that Ghana is now closed for this criminal business. We're not going to allow that to happen. We're not going to allow that to happen. All of those people within the NPP, politically exposed people who are part of this, I'm saying it again to you, the blood of this AIDS is on your head. And you better have a change of heart, and recant from this thing and step out of it. And all of those are people who are also in the pit. Enough is enough. Let's try and make sure that we get to responsible mining that does not destroy our environment, kill our people, and all of us. This is the shameful thing that we do. Ghana has become the butt of the joke of everything. This is what has caused 8 people to die. Fighting something that we should be able to fight and fight well. So I am praying that His Excellency the President, that pain that I know you are going through currently as we speak, convert that pain to say that enough is enough. Not a single soul again should die wanting to fight this.
Doug, finally, before I let you go, the last time I spoke to you, I told you about suggestions that the best way we can deal with this matter is to shoot to kill. But then you opposed it and said that it's to the extreme. With this development, you still stand by a position that is to the extreme, or we should consider it?
You see, again, too long, for me, do not make a right. In the process of going to shoot and kill, if you are not too careful, you might catch other people who might not be, be in it. And so, what I would urge again is the solution that I have prepared. What we need to do is to look for some non-lethal force. We need to look for some non-lethal force. And when I say non-lethal force, again, my mind tells me that can we get some bullets maybe rubber bullets that will penetrate any PPE that they wear when we do, and that rubber bullet on impact would explode and would release a dye, an indelible dye that would color you, and then in that indelible dye would also be an itching powder. That should be done. But we also should equip the Forestry Commission, that with enough firepower that when they meet these people and they attempt, like they happened recently, they need to be able to return fire, more advanced and more powerful fire for anybody they see armed who will attempt to their life. But I would not subscribe to, a shoot to kill. I would say that we need to be more forceful. We need to declare a state of emergency, outlaw anybody going into any of these forest reserves, going into these water bodies. Anybody who we see, is dealt with. What we should be asking for is any DC, any police commander, any national security chief in these communities that galamsey is taking place, they should be dismissed for search for incompetence, and they should be investigated. If they are accomplices, they should be arrested and they should be prosecuted. People like the NDC constituency chairperson for Dukwa, for example, who will lead his people to oppose lawful forces that have gone to go and do that is facilitating which is the law says that it's also criminal. All of those people should be arrested. All the names that we have been mentioned, Mr. President, this is the time to go all out. Everybody that is being named in the Professor Pinto Boateng report, all of them will need to line all of them up and then, under a state of emergency, give special powers to the courts, like was done in the UK, where once these things happen, immediately you are taken to court within 24 hours. When the riots happened, UK, they were prosecuting people and jailing people. We can do that and send that signal to people. Those who are in Obuasi, who people know openly as galamsey, we start dealing with them more forcefully than we have done. And so I would not subscribe to the shoot to kill, but I would say that we now need to match, their evil power, their criminal power with more forceful power.
Doug, I'll say a big thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Dr. Kenneth Ashibe is the convener of the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, or illegal mining, as you want to call it. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories for you.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Damex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
If you know these sounds, you didn't just live through the 90s, you lived the experience. Back then, connection took minutes. Today, it takes a blink. You express yourself with memes. You hold video calls across continents. You say hey to an AI who responds,
"Hello, Kwame."
You order rides, dinner, and dreams all from the palm of your hand. A lot has changed, so have we. For over 3 decades, EcoBank has evolved with you, leading digital banking in Ghana and across 33 African countries, pioneering solutions built around how you live, move, and dream today. From our Express Points to EcoBank Pay, online banking, and the mobile app, we are where you are. Here for today, ready for tomorrow. Now, that's change. Powered by EcoBank. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. And what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so this is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. So where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, they make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand my go be inside? I give you info. Make a full the go be too small. Go. And Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality. Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami. We are here tonight. I'm here with Fafa Melody. Let's read some of your WhatsApp messages that have come in. Daniel in Sandama says, the loss of the 8 gallant Ghanaians in this crash demands more than tears. It demands truth. We insist We insist on truly independent and uncompromised investigations to lay bare the facts on this matter. Government must immediately assign people to the bereaved family so they ensure that their sanity is intact. Mausi from Abotia in the Volta region says, in light of this crash involving the Ghana Armed Forces, I strongly advocate for an independent investigations. This ensures transparency, accountability and justice for Honorable Dr. Mutala, Honorable Dr. Manebwama and the 6 others who lost their lives. An impartial inquiry is vital to recover the true cause and prevent future occurrences. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Prince Henry in Kofodia says, we all need to support the government to give us the best report that will give us the true cause of the plane crash. May God protect their soul and give them peaceful rest. ZND from Tema says, in the US, the National Transportation Safety Board has the mandate to investigate all air crashes or crash accidents, even if it involves their military aircraft. An air crash investigation is generally a teamwork and not limited to a particular arm of the security agency whose aircraft is involved. What do we have in Ghana? Let's not set a bad precedent. Mr. McLean in the Upper East region says, I think the investigation team should do all their best and ensure that necessary information and costs on this particular incident is revealed. Fafa has some more stories.
Yes, in other news, the Ghana Medical Association has described the rising number of road accidents in the country as a public health crisis that requires urgent attention. Speaking at the 44th Annual General Meeting of the Society of Private Medical and Dental Practitioners in Cape Coast, the association's president, Dr. Frank Sirbo, called for immediate action to improve road infrastructure and urged drivers to be more disciplined. Referring to recent deadly crashes that claimed multiple lives, he stressed the need for a coordinated national response to tackle the growing menace.
Even with the single lane roads, they are still in such bad shapes that every trip on them is a dance with death. Sadly, to add salt to injury, our drivers ply these terrible roads with careless abandon. Recently, we saw what happened. 16 very young people lost their lives. 3 days ago, there was 15 on the Accra-Kumasi Road, and there were a few at Asamankes and others. Road accidents continue to kill and maim the active age population with little or no action from any authority. It is widely accepted that intelligence is a mirror to reflect upon the consequences of our negligence and inactions. So the question is, are we reflecting? However, it appears we live in a system where we have become emotionally immune to the careless deaths around us. We continue to live in a brick wall with closed minds that has become a fortress of ignorance. The escalating road accidents in our country is nothing but a public health emergency. The bloodbath on our roads have to stop. If I have to continue, I'll say so much. So on this note, let me wish all of us a successful conference.
You are the president of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Frank Sirbo. Away from that, the Adabraka District Court has adjourned the murder case of Immigration Officer Stephen King Amoah to August 22, 2025, while remanding the prime suspect into custody for 2 weeks. The case, which was initially treated as a kidnapping, has since been reclassified as a murder and transferred to the District Court for further proceedings after the case was heard earlier today. Stephen King Amoah went missing on July 3 after leaving home to meet a friend at a Shoman estate. His partially burnt body was discovered 5 days later at a bomb junction near Kwabinya. The suspect, Bright Aware, believed to be the last person Amoah contacted, was arrested shortly after. Now, the Ministry of Education has approved the immediate printing of textbooks for senior high schools across the country. The move comes after the Ghana Education Service raised concerns over delays in distributing tablets promised under the previous government's digitalization agenda, which has left many students without key learning materials. At a meeting with GES and the West African Examinations Council WAEC, Education Minister Haruna Idrisu directed that funds from the GET Fund be reallocated to support the printing of textbooks. Here's a conversation with Minister Haruna Idrisu and GES Director General Professor Ernest Kofi Davis on the urgent need to provide printed textbooks to affected schools.
Many of the schools haven't still received the tablets. That means that the students do not have opportunity to do independent work because the textbooks the learning materials are integrated into the system. The tablets come with their learning materials. So I will agree with you that we print some textbooks for schools that have not received the tablet. Currently, some people are printing the material online as pamphlets, and we are telling schools not to encourage that. So the earlier we print textbooks, the better. So I will be very happy if the ministry supports us in that direction.
There is provision in the GET Fund formula for textbooks. We have to vary part of it from basic education into secondary education and get that done.
You had a conversation with the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, and the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Ernest Kofi Davis.
You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We go for business. When we come back, we have Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa. But to further details now, the Ministry of Finance is asking business associations, professional bodies, financial institutions, civil society, faith-based groups, and the general public to submit proposals and ideas for Ghana's 2026 to 2029 budget statement and economic policy. In a public notice, the ministry acknowledged the value of past submissions in shaping national budget and reiterated its commitment to inclusive and participatory policy making. Government is seeking to present the 2026 budget to Parliament by November 15 and says contributions from stakeholders will play a critical role in refining economic priorities. All submissions are to be sent electronically to the ministry by the close of business on Friday, August 29, 2025. Away from that, financial sector players are optimistic about a reduction in lending rates following a sharp decline in the Ghana reference rate. The Ghana Association of Banks has announced a major drop in the reference rate from 23.69% in June to 19.67% for August 2025. This development is raising expectations that banks across the country will soon adjust their interest rates downward to reflect the new benchmark. Banking consultant Dr. Richmond Echiahine tells Citi Business News that a corresponding 20% cut in lending rates would be a fair response to the change.
Looking at the inflation rate of 12.7, 20.1, and the policy rate is currently 25 or thereabouts, I think that to synchronize the whole lending rate policy and the economy, they should bring it as low as 20% or 21%. So the policy rate should come down as about 400 basis points to 21 minimum, and then maximum is 20. So they're 500 points. And that will go a long way to help business to borrow at a cheaper rate. Because currently we are borrowing close to, some are borrowing 30%, some are borrowing 28%. And it's not good for the economy. So if you can get the policy rate coming down, the lending rate automatically will have to come down. The Ghana reference rate will definitely have to come down so that it will help business to borrow at cheaper rate and expand the economy and ensure the growth of the economy.
You had banking consultant Dr. Richmond Tiahene speaking exclusively to Citi Business News. Now, more members of the business community are joining to mourn the tragic loss of 8 lives, including 2 cabinet ministers in Wednesday's military helicopter crash in the Ashanti region. Industry groups such as the Association of Ghana Industries, the Ghana Chamber of Mines, the Independent Power Generators Ghana, and major private sector players have issued sympathy statements expressing condolences to the bereaved families, the government, and other state institutions. The following Business Desk report has more on the tributes being poured in.
From the private sector, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry says it recognizes the exceptional public service of the deceased and honors their unwavering commitment to national development. As an institution dedicated to national progress through private sector leadership, the Chamber extends its deepest condolences to the bereaved families and the government of the Republic of Ghana, the Ghana Armed Forces, and all affected institutions. And more from the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber says it is profoundly saddened by this national tragedy. Their thoughts and prayers are with the families. The UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce stands in solidarity with the Republic of Ghana during this period of national mourning. And from the African Continental Free Trade Secretariat, the Secretary General of AFTA, Wamkele Mene, stated, quote, "We mourn alongside the people of Ghana and extend our deepest sympathies to the families enduring this painful loss. The candle may go out, but the memory of its light will remain. May those who lost their lives be remembered with honor, and may they rest in peace," unquote.
That was Emmanuel Opon with excerpts from statements issued by some business players. Still on this, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana says that development must signal renewed national commitment to ending illegal mining to safeguard food security.
The association in a statement expressed deep condolences to the bereaved families, colleagues, and the entire nation, noting the leaders' unwavering commitment to safeguarding Ghana's environment and resources. The association highlighted the critical role these individuals played in environmental protection and sustainable agriculture, urging government and stakeholders to honor their legacy by intensifying anti-galamsey measures. The association said their tragedy has sent shockwaves across the agricultural sector, stressing that illegal mining continues to pose severe threats to farmland, water bodies, and food production.
Daniel Odromensa with excerpts from the statement by the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers (COPEC) has shelved plans to challenge the proposed 20% increase in transport fares following the suspension of the hike, which was scheduled to take effect today, August 8. The Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council had cited several reasons for the planned increment, including the failure of prices of goods, services, and spare parts to reflect the 15% fare reduction in May, the introduction of the 1 Ghana Cedi per litre fuel levy, and a rise in maintenance costs. COPEC Executive Secretary Duncan Amwa, speaking to Citi Business News, welcomed the transport union's decision to hold off on the fare increase, describing it as a positive step towards broader stakeholder engagement.
There's no need at all in compelling anyone to do any other thing if indeed what they threaten to do, which we found, quite extortionist. If you were simply asking your members to go and take more money at a time that fuel prices are lower, at a time spare parts cost has gone down, at a time that the general inflationary pressures in the country has declined. If you were still going to ask your members to go and take 20% more, then we would have subjected them or tested the law with them to see that if this sort of mass extortion should be entertained. But now that they have decided to stop that action, I think that there will be no basis whatsoever in asking for any remedy.
That was COPEC's Executive Secretary Duncan Amwa ending Citi Business News. On Eyewitness News, I am Melody Fafa. But to fair up next is Point Blank.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
Oh, Jopana. Go. Ugomi, and what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel where I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, so this is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it will protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, they make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have my go be inside? I give you info. Make a fill the go be too small. Go. And Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Hello,
Kojo, is everything alright?
Everything is alright. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no!
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look, the video freezes again. Abba. By now you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters. MTN, everywhere you go.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News. And this is Point Blank. On Point Blank tonight, we continue with our coverage of the passing of the 8 Ghanaians who lost their life in that disaster. Scores of Ghanaians are trooping to the Jubilee House to pay their respects and to lay flowers. Today, the NPP presidential candidate in the 2024 general election and former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia was at the Jubilee House to also lay a flower. He spoke to journalists and said that this particular incident is a national disaster.
Well, I think the grief comes to all Ghanaians. This is not just me, it is not the NDC, it's all of us. This is a national tragedy. 8 public officials on official duty, so they were in the service of this country, and they had this tragic accident and they all lost their lives. Ghana is in mourning, and so this morning I took the opportunity to visit some of the families, at least of 3 of the victims, and I will continue tomorrow to complete that exercise. So this is personal to all Ghanaians, and we just want to extend my condolences to the government, to His Excellency the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, and the government. I also want to extend my condolences to the Ghana Armed Forces who have lost very gallant soldiers in this process. I want to extend my condolences to the families of all those who died in this accident. It's very, very painful loss. Ghana has lost just a tremendous amount from this particular tragedy. And this is why I'm here to lay a wreath to express my condolences. Thank you.
Before you go, are we going to see full participation from you, your delegation, the NPP, in the burial process?
Oh, well, you can expect it. I mean, this is not a partisan issue. It's not a partisan issue. This is a national tragedy. And regardless of, you should expect full participation because it is our national duty fully participate.
NPP presidential candidate in the 2024 election, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, a former vice president of the Republic, speaking to journalists at the Jubilee House after visiting the place to lay a flower. His running mate in that same election, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, was also present and also spoke to journalists.
Sacrifice have been paid by noble public servants of this country. This is a time of national grief. And I came here to pay my respects to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, a junior colleague in medicine, a friend, and a brother. Dr. Muntala, a very, very close friend indeed. We were so close that even in the heat of a battle of election, we spoke almost every other day, comparing notes and wishing for ourselves the Ghana that we all want to help build. Mr. Samuel Sopon is probably the only KMA mayor in the last 25 years whose tenure I attended every single KMA program that MPs were invited. He was a very, very good friend and somebody we shared lots with. For all these, plus other noble servants of Ghana, life to be perished, all I can say that we politicians must understand that the work we do day in and day out should inure to the ordinary citizens of this country. The welfare and the well-being of the average Ghanaian should be something that we strive for every day. If this can happen, such senior persons on the pursuit of something noble for citizens, then it can happen to everybody. Then it can happen to everybody. So I wish their families in these times, very soon, all the celebrations and the mourning will be off. It will be left to individual women who were married to these gentlemen to grieve together with their children. And that is the time Ghana should show that it won't never forget today. And we should cater for and look after the children, the wives of these noble Ghanaians who perished in the line of duty. But likewise, we politicians must not let Ghanaians feel that we only care for ourselves and that we are putting in place things to make sure that whoever this happens to in this country will be also looked after and have hope for the betterment of Ghana and the hope in the future of this country. Thank you.
Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, NPP Vice Presidential candidate in the 2024 general elections. Also present was the coordinator of DRIB, Nilante Vanderpoy, former member of parliament for the Odudu-Dio constituency. He also spoke about the passing of the 8 gentlemen.
Even one is too much. I can't believe my brother, my friend Mutala, for all people, a very pious Muslim, will die in such a manner. It's not just about the death, but the manner in which they died.
is what is hurting people like us. If they have died sleeping or in any other form, I'm fine. But this one is just too hard. I'm imagining the pain they may have gone through, the trauma they have gone through when they were seeing the helicopter struggling, and then the crash, and then the fire. It's unimaginable. No human being should die that way, and not when people are in the line of duty for the development of this country. And I think as
Nilante van der Boy, the coordinator for the national coordinator for the DRIP program, and a former member of parliament for the Odio constituency. Also available to speak to journalists is the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Perspectives that were well researched, very sound. Only last week, exactly a week to the day, last week Friday, we were with him. We had a Ministerial Advisory Board meeting, and we had a very good meeting. He told us after the meeting that he would have to go resolve the issues in Baku, so it was going to be a very, very busy weekend for him. We reached him well, we exchanged pleasantries. We could never, ever have imagined that would be the last time we'll be seeing him in person. And Dr. Mane Buama did not deserve this. The Honorable Alhaji Dr. Murtala Ibrahim Mohammed did not deserve this. Honorable Samuel Sapon, the Honorable Muniru Limuna, Samuel Abuaje, and the crew, all 8 of our gallant compatriots did not deserve this, and nobody, no human being deserves what they have gone through. It's too difficult. But for now, I, on behalf of colleagues at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, wish to extend our deepest condolences to the spouses, the children, the families of these fallen heroes. We pray that the good Lord will give them succor, will give them fortitude to bear this, because even for us, when you come to the ministry and it's like a ghost village. Nothing really is going on. We've suspended all work to pay our respects and to really commiserate. The whole country is mourning, and it's very, very difficult to understand this. We just cannot fathom why this will happen to Ghana and why this will happen to our fellow.
Here, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Member of Parliament for the Northern constituency, speaking to journalists at the Jubilee House. Also present was the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tetignon, who also spoke to journalists after laying a flower. The acting Chief Justice of the Republic, Justice Paul Bafo-Boni, was also at the Jubilee House and spoke to journalists after also laying a flower in respect of the 8 departed.
This is a national tragedy. Now we are here to commiserate with the president by laying our flowers. And as I said yesterday in my statement, which was actually repeated by the president in his somber address to the people, these gallant men died in the course of duty, and so we should forge ahead in national unity and not politicize their deaths. We should all have recourse to their legacy they left behind and then serve our nations to the best of our ability.
You are the acting Chief Justice Paul Bafoboni. Also, the chairman of the Council of Elders of the NDC, Alhaji Mahama Idrisu, was also on stage to speak to journalists after leading a delegation of NDC Council of Elders to the Jubilee House.
This is a very sad day or week or period for all of us to see our beloved colleagues in this tragedy. We are here as Council of Elders of the National Democratic Congress to lay the wreath in honor of our colleagues. We'll extend our sympathies to all their relatives, the country, and our head of state, President John Dramani Mahama, for this irreparable loss. May all our colleagues rest in perfect peace.
You are the chairman of the NDC Council of Elders, Alhaji Mahama Idrisu. The minority leader, member of parliament for Ifutu, Alexander Penyo Markin, has also expressed sorrow over the incident. He shared his condolences while speaking as the guest of honor at the 19th biennial conference of the Methodist Youth Fellowship at the Winneba Methodist Church.
Permit me to begin with a moment of honor in the memories of the 8 distinguished Ghanaian public servants, patriots, and leaders who tragically lost their lives. Their sudden passing is a painful reminder of the fragility of life and the urgency of purposeful living. In mourning them, we are reminded that true greatness lies not only in position, but in faithful service to God and country. Send my heartfelt condolences to the families also of the 16 Savior Church youth who died in an accident on the 28th of July at Draso in the Ashanti region. During this difficult moment, and may their souls have peace. Amen.
The minority leader, Alexander Penyo, member of parliament for the Ifutu constituency. Can I like bring the voice of the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tetenyonu, who was also at the Jubilee House to pay his respect.
Thank you very much. This is really very sad news. We were all working in the office when we had this news of this tragic incident that occurred on Obuasi Road. This is a big national loss, and the whole country, and especially my people in the Ghana Police Service, we are highly concerned, and all that we are saying is that we wish the bereaved families, we wish the entire nation our condolences, and I hope that God will protect the families of this, our beloved gallant leaders of this country who lost their lives. God will protect them, protect their souls, and also protect their families in this difficult time. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You heard the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tetenyonu, speaking to journalists after visiting the Jubilee House to pay his respect to the departed 8. So this is where we draw the curtain down on today's edition of Eyewitness News. That came to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Uyafe. I was here with Fafa Melody. The show produced by Juliana Odami, Mano Ayamba, and technical assistance by Desmond Nyako, as well as Bevan Landon and Kwabena Wilson. So we'll come your way again on Monday. May the good Lord be with us all.